Welcome to the RecoverMate Podcast, where love, sobriety, and life gets real. I'm Rick.
And I'm Danielle. We're a husband and wife team sharing our personal journey through sobriety. And together, we are having all the difficult conversations that most people are too afraid to have in their relationship.
We're diving deep into the hard stuff, from our own past to recovery, parenting challenges, finances, and everything in between that comes with building a life together.
And trust us, nothing is off limits here. We're keeping it raw, honest, and unfiltered because that's what recovery, love, and real life looks like.
So whether you're sober, curious about recovery, or just looking for ways to keep love alive while living a sober life, you've come to the right place.
We're excited to share our most forbidden conversations with you. So grab a seat, buckle up, and get ready for the kind of discussions that you won't hear anywhere else.
Let's go!
Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of the RecoverMate Podcast. Today we are pretty much letting you guys know what's been going on for us for the 44 Strong Challenge, and we just wanted to give you a little insight. Ricky and I were just having a conversation, and I thought, no, we need to stop the conversation because this is something that needs to be recorded, and we thought you guys might get a lot from. So we're a few days into the 44 Strong Challenge, and you decided to take on giving up caffeine. So I suppose, fill everyone in. What were we talking about? What's been going on for you? And
Yeah, so obviously my choice was to go caffeine. For me, it's controlled me a little bit, I guess, over the last sort of 15, 20 years. Basically as soon as I started my apprenticeship when I was 17, all the tradesmen around there would drink coffee, and that was something I never did. And then as a first year apprentice, we used to make the coffees for all the guys that were in the workshop. So that was our job for Smoko. So I remember each guy what they wanted with there was black or white or one sugar or two sugars, and you had to remember everyone's order, I suppose, for every day for Smoko. And I remember me and the other apprentice, neither of us had coffee at the time. Neither of us enjoyed coffee. That natural 17-year-old energy you used to have at that time. And like I said, we used to make them every day for the other tradesmen. So it got probably 6 months in, and we go, maybe we'll try one. So you try the normal coffee with a bit of milk in it and hate the taste of it. So you add a bit of sugar, tried it again, hated the taste. A bit more sugar, oh, that's a bit better, I'll have that. So then you started having coffee as well as when the guys were having coffee. So that's pretty much where it all started when I was sort of 17, 18. And also working 11, 12-hour shifts, Monday to Saturday as an apprentice. And then moving on throughout my career, I work on mine sites, I do night shifts, I do very long sort of shifts. So I use coffee or energy drinks to keep me going throughout a shift, or for the early morning starts, I'd use it to perk me up. With the roster I'm doing now, I do both day shift and night shift for my swings. And I start at 3 a.m, so obviously it's a very early start. It's very hard to get out of bed. You can be very tired that time of morning. So I get to work and I'll have a coffee. So 3 a.m. coffee, you have one, and then get to about 5 o'clock, you might have another one. And then you have a production meeting with all the team around site, and you'd have another one to get you through that meeting. So it's very easy for me to have 3 or 4 coffees throughout the day, especially while working. And then that transpired to when I come home, I'd have one when I wake up, have another one later. And then if I got to, say, lunchtime when I was sluggish still, I'd have go get an energy drink from the shops, or I'd go have another coffee. So this has just transpired for a long time now, where I'm almost using the caffeine to keep my body alive, is what it feels like. So I thought, you know what, let's just try and kick that habit. Let's try and completely minimize caffeine in the body and let the body's energy resources do their thing, rather than expecting something else externally coming in to do that. So as Danielle said, my challenge for this 44 days is caffeine. But I didn't realize how much of a hold it had on me. I remember day one came around and I was like, yep, cool, this should be nice and easy. But I woke up a bit sluggish, ready for that morning coffee, and then going, no, you can't have it, it's part of your challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, let's have some water. Let's have your normal things throughout the morning and go from there. I didn't realize really how sluggish I was for the whole day. Like I was just so down the dumps. I had no energy at all. Got to midday and I wanted a nap.
Mm-hmm.
And I woke up at 7 o'clock. So it was so strange. And funny enough, my mum was here at the same time. She was staying with us overnight. And she also was kicking the coffee habit as well.
Mm.
And both of us looked at each other and we just almost looked and laughed because we both knew each other was feeling. Because she was in the same boat where she loved going out for a coffee, and coffee was a big thing for her, and she'd have 4 or 5 cups a day as well. So we both just got these massive headaches. We're both so sluggish. We're both just so tired. Like, it was just a really surreal feeling that we both didn't know how much this caffeine or addiction had on us at the time.
So in our conversation earlier, you were relating it to alcohol. So I suppose for the people who were listening, what was your thought process in that? Like, how did you come to that conclusion?
Well, just like giving up alcohol, like for me, you think about it during the day. Like, especially if you're at work, you're like, I can't wait to get home and have a beer. Or if it's like midday, like, all right, I better wait till a more reasonable time to have a beer. So it's always sort of popping up in your head about the addiction or the habit that you have that you want to go back to and looking forward to getting it again. So when we're having that conversation, we're just talking as per normal. And then all I can think in my head was, I've got a lot of things to do after this conversation, like, a bit of podcasting, or we can go do some video editing and all that. And then I'll grab a coffee. And I was like, what am I thinking about coffee for? I'm like, it's just a surreal thing that, like, it's another one of those habits, another one of those feelings that it felt like when I had to give up alcohol, that I'm now thinking about it again. It's now like internalizing me that when I go to do something or I have a feeling about something, like saying I need to calm down, I'll have alcohol, or I need to perk up, I'll have coffee. So when I was going through the whole motion of I've got to get some energy up to do some other bits and pieces around, our daily life, my first thought was grab a coffee and let's get going.
Wow. I mean, for me, that is crazy. But literally, I mean, I've had 4 cups of coffee in my entire life. I remember the first time I had a cup of coffee, I mean, it wasn't even a full cup. I had a sip and I thought, fuck, like this tastes like shit. Like, who wants to drink this? And the second time it was like we had the kids, right? So I was a new mum and, kids stay up late and they don't sleep. And I thought, you know what? I will do that mum thing where I'll go and order a cup of coffee and maybe this is where the coffee habit kicks in. Didn't happen. And then I think my third cup of coffee was like a mocha. So I don't even think you can really call that a cup of coffee. And I did drink that. And then I think the last one was like an iced coffee. And that was like as far as it got. But my reaction, and this is where it really set off something for me, was I was like a squirrel on crack if I had coffee. So I didn't have an energy problem. I just, I was tired. My body was letting me know I was tired. And instead of trying to find something to perk me up in that, I would just allow myself to be tired and do what I needed to do. And then look at other ways to support myself, whether it was through supplements or eating different foods. Some days I still have an energy problem, and that's when I go, okay, I need to look at my stuff. But then watching you, who you don't just get the benefits of the coffee, well you did before, but you love the taste of it. So to me, like it's such a foreign concept.
Yeah, well, it's like anything, I suppose. If you drink it enough, you start to enjoy it. But I mean, even when I first started drinking coffee, I'd have sugar with it. And then doing a lot of mind-site work and going away a lot, you couldn't sleep very well. You're doing very long hours, 12 to 14 hours. And especially if on days where you're doing a shutdown, so people don't understand how shutdowns work, a lot of times you can be sitting and waiting. So you can sit in the crib room and you can just sort of wait until permits put through, locks are put on, things are ready to go. So sometimes you can sit there for a full day. So it'll be 12 hours sitting in this room waiting to get out and do something. And a lot of times I don't have reception where they are and stuff either. So there's only so much you can use your phone at the time. You can actually I'll have a coffee just to try and stay awake and cure the boredom. So that's pretty much when I went from putting sugar in the coffee to just going coffee with milk.
Right.
And even went through a stage of having black coffee and I can't stand that. But for health benefits, I went through the black coffee stage to stop the extra sugars and calories that come through with milk. But then I got out of that phase pretty quick and went back to just drinking milk with coffee. So my biggest thing in this is I didn't realize how difficult it would be. I really thought it'd be like, it's, how bad can it be to not have coffee for the day? Like I'm sure I've gone through other days before I haven't had a coffee. Like how hard can it be to just not have a couple of cups every day and get through it all? But I mean, day one was
brutal,
torturing. Like I didn't like it really kicked my ass more than I thought it ever would. And that proved to me that there was a real habit and real addiction in that.
It had a real hold on you.
It really did.
And also as well, like with the dopamine, there's a dopamine release with coffee, and even culturally as well. Like Australia is known for its really great coffee. I mean, not in my opinion, but I can't say that I went to other countries and it's the first thing I wanted to try. Yeah, I mean, culturally, I can understand it as well. And we've looked into it and there are some benefits, but, it's more like within reason, within proportion, like within balance. But people are just walking around like buzzing on coffee 24/7 and you just wonder like how actually good is it for you? And are you slowing down? Are you allowing your body to reset, or are you just running strict on adrenaline? So
I think that's what's kicking me at the moment is that I'm always such a go kind of person. So the coffee helps me with that. And now that I've got things to do, I know what things to do, my body's slowing right down. It's just a weird feeling and a weird sense of what do I do?
It's like the same as alcohol, right? Like coming back to the very beginning of the journey when you decide to give up alcohol, it's the same sort of process. So I suppose in that, we always talk about habit. So when we are trying to break a habit, the easiest way is to replace it with something else. And ideally something in contrast or something that's positive. So if you are someone who goes, I'd really like to break an addiction, but I don't know how to, literally the simplest and easiest and most effective way is just to replace it with something else. So I suppose with alcohol, when you first started out in your journey, you had the 0%, and that really helped ease that feeling and that anchoring that you were talking about in the previous episodes. So what is it this time around for you?
Well, I've tried just to increase my water intake. I know with coffee, I can drink more coffee than water on some days, especially at work. Like I can start at 3 a.m. and get to midday and go, I haven't had a glass of water today, but I've had 4 coffees. So it's now just being more aware on what I am consuming and trying to, build up that water intake, flush out, I guess, and try and detox from the caffeine and from the coffee. Mum actually brought over some decaffeinated coffee pods. So I'm actually trying one of those today just to see if that anchors anything in and maybe just replenishes those feelings of I need a coffee.
Yes, okay.
So it's kind of like with the alcohol. So you go from a normal beer to a 0% beer. You're still getting, I guess, the feeling and the taste and the sensation of having it without the alcohol. So I guess with the decaf, I'm hoping, I'll be able to tell you hopefully next time, that if I have the decaf, it'll have all the feeling and sensation and the real taste of what coffee is without the caffeine. So that's my next little thing. I don't think it's going to be a 5 cup of coffee a day thing, but it's just something to maybe get over that edge. When I get sort of on edge thinking I want a coffee or need a coffee, I'll try the decaf just to see if it breaks through.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks guys for another episode of the RecoverMate Podcast. Thanks for tuning in, and we will keep updating you on how we're going personally in the 44 Strong Challenge, but also give you guys some feedback of what's going on with other people during the challenge. So already we're in a few days, and a lot of people have said that they're seeing benefits and they're already seeing changes and they're starting to feel really good. It is a tailor-made program. It is based around life happening, so you don't need to give up your whole entire life to try and fit this challenge in. It's designed to be relatively simple but sophisticated.
Simple but effective.
Yeah.
Like you can get all of your tasks done in there for the day in the space of an hour. anywhere from an hour, hour and a half. So whether it's before work, after work, during the day, we don't try and overcomplicate things because obviously life in general can be complicated, especially if you're trying to break an addiction or break a habit. So we really are just trying to create some awareness, create something simple, create your body feeling a bit better about itself. And that's where the fitness and the reflection comes in. And the sharing is just about keeping yourself accountable. So, and that's what we're here for.
All right, guys, until next time.
See you then.